Early this morning, I decided to start writing this video, and as of recording, it is currently 2:42 p.m., May 28th. The same day Succession and Barry will both air their final episodes. 2 days from now, Ted Lasso will do the same. Three shows, all of which I could comfortably place on a list of my favorite shows of all time, are coming to an end within hours and then days of each other. And later this year, even more shows on that list will do the same. So it makes sense that lately, I've been thinking about endings. I'm someone who's deeply impacted by fiction, especially television. The little stories on the screen mean a lot to me, and endings are hard to land. For every Black Sails or Breaking Bad, there's an Ozark, a show whose final season was arguably its best up until the last episode, which did not stick the landing, in my opinion, and subsequently soured the rest of the show in hindsight. The same can be said for shows like Supernatural, whose final season satisfied no one who had been following the show for 15 whole years. As I'm writing this part of the video, I don't know how any of these shows end. As I'm filming it, I have no idea how any of these shows end, and that scares me. What if they end badly and it ruins one of my favorite shows? But more importantly, why am I letting this stress me out? Stress me out more than I was for my exams or my job interview. I'm stressed because what if they mess it up? What if my favorite character doesn't get the ending they deserve, or if they die? In the case of Barry, I doubt death is on the table for the other two shows, although I suppose nothing's out of the question with Succession. I wrote a monologue at a writing workshop a couple weeks ago on the subject, and I think it captures my thoughts quite well, even though I've covered some of these points already. I'm going to read it to you now with some minor edits. Thank you. How will Succession end? I doubt in happy endings. Will more people die? Will it go out with a bang or a whimper? But why do I care? These aren't real people. They're characters. Their lives don't impact mine. They shouldn't affect mine because their lives aren't lives at all. They're acting choices and words on paper. Why do I care and care so much about the people on the screen? Not just Succession, but all the shows, like Barry and Ted Lasso. Why do I care? The fake people on the screen made me cry, and I returned to watch them do horrible or good things or anything week after week. Reality is not enough. I remember my days by show. Sunday is Succession and Barry. Monday was Perry Mason. Tuesday is Ted Lasso. Wednesday is 6 more days until the next Ted Lasso. Everything is better in the fictional words on my screen, where I can forget about my problems and for an hour or so worry about the problems of horrible rich people in boring suits who say and do things I'd never say or do. I don't need to stress about rent or my own relationships when I can stress about Kendall closing a deal or dreading whatever Tom or Shiv or Roman will do this week. And I care because their problems are ones I'll never have. They're people I'll never know. They're not real. How much I love or hate them doesn't matter. So I count down the days until Sunday, and the hours, and then minutes until 9. So I can forget about life for a while. And for just a few more hours now, wonder, how will Succession end? I suppose we'll have to wait and see. They're over. I didn't cry, not for Succession and Barry anyways, which as of now, which is 3:04 p.m. on the 30th of May, I haven't watched the Ted Lasso finale, so I can't speak for that, since it hasn't come out yet. There was satisfaction in both endings. I think Succession probably stuck the landing better, but I figure that was probably going to be the case. The endings felt like endings. For Barry, it was a bit of a strange finale. I didn't like some of it, but the parts I didn't like were mostly due to things that had already happened in the season, things that the finale couldn't have fixed. But I didn't cry. I thought I might, but I didn't. And I'm not sad necessarily that they're done. I feel almost passive, but that's not the right word for it. Watching the series finale of Succession, I was possibly the most stressed I've ever been. But now it's over, and now I can relax. In a way, by stressing over TV shows instead of real life, I've made myself more stressed than I would have been in the first place. With shows like Succession and Barry, they're escapism, sure, but they're an escape to a world far more stressful than real life. But now the stories are over, they have a beginning, middle, and end, and I know all of it. I know all there is to know, and I don't have to worry anymore. Sure, I brought the worry on myself for allowing myself to become so invested in fictional people, but I don't regret it. I'm glad the shows happen and that I watch them. And I'll probably rewatch them in the future and probably enjoy them more because now I can just enjoy it without stressing and worrying about what will happen. But the finales were good, the shows weren't ruined. Moving on to Ted Lasso in T-minus 6 hours.
Thank you, fellas. That was perfect.
I cried a little. Happy endings tend to be more sad than sad endings, or even bittersweet ones. And it wasn't perfect, there were little things I would have changed, but no finale is ever truly perfect. But it made me happy, and sad that it was over. But mostly happy that it happened. That the characters I love got happy endings. Could there have been more Trent Krim? Yes, but that's always the case. Everything could use more Trent Krim. But at the end of the day, it is just television, and I can rewatch it whenever I want to, or not, and I probably will rewatch it. But it'll always be there, and I'll always have that feeling I felt when watching it for the first time. Sitting there cheering along a fictional team, caring about sports for the first and probably only time ever. I've seen people on the internet have different opinions on the ending and the last season as a whole, and that's completely fine. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I think I can firmly say that it was good, and I enjoyed it. Endings are tricky. TV shows come and go, and there'll probably always be more. Like I said at the beginning of the video, at least a few other shows that I like are ending later this year. So I won't really ever stop thinking about endings, but that's the beauty of it. Succession can stress me out, make me laugh, make me mad, and then it's over. Ted Lasso can make me laugh, make me cry, and it's over. And I take what I will from them and move on, and at least these endings were conclusive and final. They didn't sour the rest of the show in hindsight or leave off in a way that felt rushed. Maybe Barry did a little bit, but it still wasn't a bad ending.
Oh, wow.
Maybe one day I'll learn to stop caring so much about fiction, but that day is far away. And spoiler for the finale of Ted Lasso, it gives me comfort that within the world of TV, the characters, the team, in the case of Ted Lasso, will continue playing year after year, even if the shows of their future exist in my mind. And at the very least, the shows got to have proper endings and weren't brutally canceled with no warning. And you can watch these shows, form your own opinions on how they were and how they ended. Thanks for watching. Now I'm gonna go watch more TV.
Now the finale's done and I'm alone. I'm on a Netflix trip here on my phone. But who I am is in these episodes. So don't you tell me that it's just a show.